Hello, Angel. Thank you for being here. You may know that gratitude can be a great practice for our minds and for our hearts. I feel like it's a nice idea to reflect on some of the things, putting a positive lens on the year that is about to be behind us and to enter into the new year with good, warm energy. What do you think about that? Is it all right if in our gratitude exercise that I reach out to you? Yeah? Thank you. Okay, so 2022 is upon us, but is about to be behind us. And no matter what took place in this year, no matter how difficult, how wonderful, what have you, I think it can be nice to kind of encapsulate some of the big takeaways that we had, taking something that helps us to summarize, helps us to get a snapshot of what this year looked like for us, and maybe to get a bit more granular and think of some specifics, some things that happened or some themes, lesson we might have learned, a takeaway we might have gotten that we appreciate, even if that takeaway was something challenging, something that was hard and difficult and painful even to go through, but we've grabbed something from it. We've plucked something from it even to be improved, to be newer, better, shinier versions of ourselves. I know that the idea of New Year's resolutions can be very appealing, and whether or not you ascribe to that, whether it is that you're constantly on the move, always looking for self-improvement, any occasion to feel like we want to do better for ourselves is, I think, a good one. And so I'm not going to yuck anyone's yum or begrudge anyone if they love New Year's resolutions and some don't. Either way, I think the practice, the art of gratitude, is a helpful one. And it just so happens in many of our calendars that we take New Year's as an opportunity to set certain goals. So I thought it could be fun to just begin with asking a general question, but then reaching into a bag of treats and finding some things that are kind of generalized that I'd like to take away, or maybe I think could be applicable to you. So maybe ask yourself, we'll take a moment. Just, if you're not already certain, meditate for a moment and ask if there was something in particular, an experience, an interaction, a possession, something that happened to you or you happened to it, someone you met or someone you met with that was particularly enjoyable or pleasing, something that was having you spinning but you learned from, something you really pushed yourself through and you overcame, a challenge you're proud of yourself for. I'll let you think on that for a moment. Anything? Well, that's great if you did, and if not, that's okay. Maybe we can reach into our bag and see if we can find something. leftover holiday bag. I like the sound of crinkly paper. Okay. Gonna reach in there. Oh. This too is an item from the recent holidays. I don't want it to be too loud. But I think for me, this is an object that reminds me of cheer, of joy that took place. And also, if maybe that doesn't resonate with you, it could be taking a moment to appreciate sound. This is, generally speaking, a very pleasant sound. In fact, I have two of those in here. We've covered in other videos gratitude for senses. I don't think there's ever a bad time to be appreciative of our different senses. And sound in our community happens to be one that's very treasured. So taking a moment to appreciate joy and happiness. You know, it's not something that's eternal, but something that can be reoccurring. States of happiness and joy. Our minds aren't really wired to have continuous joy. You know, it's kind of funny, our minds kind of like variety in a sense. And so that's how joy and happiness can feel that much more special when we have moments of boredom or curiosity or of difficulty, of challenge, of irritation, of frustration, sadness, all the range of emotions. We have different punctuations of things that take place throughout the day. And I think noting, even though our moods and our states are ephemeral, they're not permanent, really capturing those that feel good and embracing them and being appreciative of them. The flip side is, I guess, being appreciative of the moods that don't feel so good. That can be a little bit more tough. But I guess it all serves a purpose to some extent, and I don't want to undermine anyone's pain that they're going through. I mean, from an evolutionary perspective, these things are here to serve a purpose, but as you know, sometimes we can sometimes have too much or too little of some things. So I'm by no means wanting to just skirt around things that we might want to be different. But in some ways, having ups and downs can really help us to see and appreciate when things are up, how special they are. So the joy, hearing that sound, I maybe think of it this way. This is a very pretty sound, at least to me. But if I were to hear it all the time, 24/7, I might not notice it so much, or it might not pique my attention as much. But the fact that it can come in and out, or it has a time of year, is really special. And I like that it has its place, that it is not permanent. It's seasonal. Let's see what else is in our bag. Okay. Pen. So, I think it's nice to take a moment, just in the physical sense, to be appreciative for our utensils, for our technology that allows us to write down, to speak even into a computer or a technology, to record our thoughts and our feelings, to make our lists, to make reminders for ourselves. Heaven's sake, I wouldn't remember anything if it weren't for my to-do list and my reminders. But I feel like the pen is, I guess, a symbol as well for creativity. Being able to put down what's in our imagination into the physical world. Whether that's a scribble, if it's a story, if it's a note telling someone that you care through a letter, if it's writing, even if it's an application for something, maybe that's coming up for us. We want to apply for a job or for continued learning, for a program that we'd like to get into, for a hobby or an activity that requires some sort of submission, community engagement. We've got the pen. And the pen in modern days can extend out to the keyboard and other mechanisms that allow us to write and encode and send messages. But I also think that the pen can be useful in terms of just self-growth and progress. It's nice to be able to journal, to write our thoughts from the day and to reflect and to think about what we want to do differently, or something that we analyze from a situation that we took, and processing some of our thoughts. That can be a useful exercise. So thank you very much to the technology of the pen, to our ability to write. Oh my goodness, just thinking of this now, the fact that we have the mental technology, the language technology to not only speak and to articulate our thoughts, but to put them into writing, into the world. That's phenomenal, and I'm so appreciative. Okay, let's see what else. Let's see what else we've got there. Oh, well, this is a continuation, I suppose, of the last. This is actually my journal. I put down much of my plans in here, sometimes my thoughts and feelings, and I'll also put video ideas into this journal. And I just wanted to say that I'm so appreciative of you being here, of the community that is ASMR community, and those that tune in here. This has been a dream of mine for a very long time, and it was only this year that I gathered the courage to begin on a continuous basis. I, in different ways, started and stopped, but I think this year really represents consistency. For me, it might not have been all the time in the beginning, but I think maybe something I could share with you is sometimes our imaginations are wild and can make things feel exhilarating and special in the moment. I love to imagine and to fantasize and to create in my head, and sometimes the execution of a project, of a dream, is not as glamorous. And you know what? I've learned that that's okay. It feels wonderful to have something that you've thought in your head become a reality, even if it's not as good as you imagined and what you thought it was going to be, or it didn't turn out exactly the way you thought. In my case, oftentimes what happens in real life is a lot more janky. It's not as polished, and it's not as, I guess, I think the elements that I have in mind aren't always there. But as I continue to learn and improve and receive wonderful feedback from you, I feel like it helps me to show up every time even better. And so I wanted to extend some gratitude and appreciation for you and for being here. So thank you. And I'd like to show some gratitude for that lesson that I've learned just about consistency. It's not always pretty. Sometimes it feels yucky, but feeling that you are, I guess for me, just feeling that something is happening and that I have that alignment between my dreams and the reality is a wonderful feeling. So I wish that for everyone to experience, if they haven't, and if you have, for continuity in that. So that's that. Okay. Switch here. Got some Band-Aids. I feel like bandages were there's a nice metaphor for healing, for any, I guess, cuts and scrapes emotionally, physically, that we have endured over the year. And I think recognizing how resilient and how much our minds, bodies, and souls can go through, and knowing that change is a constant, so we may not have come out of a certain experience exactly as we did when we entered, but that our bodies and minds can heal, and it might take on, or we might end up taking on a new form, and a beautiful form. And I just want to express gratitude for the amazing abilities that our bodies and minds have. It's, even though it might be extremely difficult and a lengthy sometimes process to heal, sometimes it's a quick one, but the ability for us to heal, I think, is a powerful one, and I wanted to express some gratitude for that. Light. So again, this could be interpreted as a sense, but I thought that looking at the light at the end of the tunnel, feeling gratitude for sometimes answers are not always immediately apparent, but with time, and even after we feel like a situation is resolved, sometimes we get the gift of seeing the light in a situation. And one of the things that I love about the online community is you get extra information about other people's experiences. Sometimes we might feel like we're alone in something, that we're the only one that's gone through a particular situation. And it's quite possible. There are so many possibilities in life and varieties of experiences. It might be possible that you are the only one that has experienced the exact circumstance that you're going through. But there is also a good chance that there are others that have gone through something similar. And what's nice about having online communities is that people can share in what they've gone through. They can have opportunities to feel seen and heard and to share their learnings and wisdoms. It might save us time, might lead us right to a solution that we hadn't considered, might even help us with hope. And that's what this light is. I think the light, as I'm saying it now, I think is a representation of hope. And so, whoops. Sorry to stun you there. I'm very grateful for having light in our lives, having, if it's light at the end of the tunnel, light in other people. Someone lights up the room. Having a circumstance that lights you up. Having an activity that lights you up. Having hope. I'm so grateful for hope being there. And also for being able to see light. Thank you for our vision. Thank you so much for that which we can see and even see in our mind's eye. Our imaginations are so powerful. And one of my favorite parts of the human experience, I think, is imagination. Anything else? Okay. So, this is a sweet, and I'm going to chomp on a piece of gum. I'm grateful for the sweet things in life. Literally. This is cinnamon gum. My favorite flavor. Grateful for sweetness that you can experience on the tongue, that you can smell, but also the sweet things in life as a bit of a metaphor. Again, things that make us smile. A sweet thing in life could be seeing a beautiful garden. It could be, I like using the visual of a bumblebee. I love watching a bumblebee hover and float and flutter from flower to flower, pollinating our plants for us, helping her community. A sweet thing in life could be the laughter that we experience with others, or even with ourselves. A really good show that we're watching. I really like stupid, silly humor. Some dark humor is great too, but I really like Modern Family. I think it's a really funny show to me in terms of being wholesome and very silly. That was a lovely show to watch through from seasons 1 through 10. I really like that. But I think I've mentioned embarking on a bucket list, so to speak, an annual bucket list. And being able to experience that solo and also with others to check off something fun and exciting on, doesn't have to be on a specific interval, but it can be just spicing up life. Just the fact that you're going out and doing something out of the norm for entertainment, for the experience, for the adventure, the sweet thing in life. Good company, good community, small things like the smell of the rain or of sunshine or cool, crisp air, the smell of baking, the taste of baking, the sunset, the sunrise, the sounds of rain, the feeling of rain, the feeling of moisture in the air, of humidity, for better or for worse, the feeling of a cool breeze. All of these are sweet things. And I think lastly, this is my night dragon. Their official name is not night dragon, but this is the dragon that I have on my bedside table. And bedside dragon, nighttime dragon, is my symbol for rest and for quality sleep and for rejuvenation. And I'm so grateful. This year has been a year where I've really tried to hone in on sleep hygiene, which is not as, to put into practice is not easy. It takes a lot of dedication and a lot of will. But the benefits of sleep are just so healing and beneficial for the benefits of sleep are beneficial. Sleep is so beneficial for our learning and for our creativity, for our mood center. There's for physical repair, for memory consolidation. Sleep is medicine, and I wish for you beautiful dreams and good sleep, and for the ability to be able to get as much sleep as you need. We live in a really bustling society, and sometimes sleep is not always prioritized. And I hope one day that begins to shift. I hope that day is soon. So thank you so much for going through a bit of this gratitude exercise with me. I really encourage you to do some gratitude of your own and think of even just one thing that you have really taken away from the year, or that you would like to take into next year. And thank you again for being here. Thank you so much. I'm wishing